Rear Admiral Charles Kubic, no stranger to leading the way, you have meritoriously served our country since graduating at the top of your class from Lehigh University with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Civil Engineering. A Vice President of your chapter, you represented Pennsylvania Epsilon at the SigEp Grand Chapter Conclave in Dallas, 1969. Whether leading the U.S. Navy Seabees in foreign countries or leading your business efforts in strategic project planning, today we are honored for you to once again be sitting at the front of the room. After completing your degree at Lehigh University, you received your commission in Navy's Civil Engineering Corps in November of 1972. You spent the early part of your career serving in civil engineering units in Thailand, Spain, and Hawaii. As a lieutenant, you moved on to Naval Mobile Construction Battalion 4 and led the Seabees as a training officer, a company commanding officer, and the officer in charge of the Guantanamo Bay Detachment. The Navy rewarded your superior performance by choosing you as a Chief of Naval Operations Scholar, which allowed you to pursue your master's degree in civil engineering back at Lehigh University. In 1985, you were selected as a White House Fellow, one of America's most prestigious programs for leadership and public service. In this post, you served on the White House staff as Senior Policy Analyst for President Ronald Reagan's Domestic Policy Council. At the rank of Commander, you led Naval Mobile Construction Battalion 3 on operational deployments to the Mediterranean and in the South Pacific, and were awarded 2 Humanitarian Service Medals. You then served as Vice Commander, Atlantic Division, Naval Facilities Engineering Command, and were selected to complete the prestigious Advanced Management Program at the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School. By 2001, you attained the rank of Rear Admiral while serving as Commander of the Pacific Division of the Naval Facilities Engineering Command and 3rd Naval Construction Brigade in Pearl Harbor. And ultimately, you would command the 1st Naval Construction Division. Leading up to the invasion of Iraq, you took command of the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force Engineering Group and supported fellow SigEp citation recipient Marine Lieutenant General James Conway in command of the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force. Your joint force of construction and engineering units integrated with combat units to support the advance of the deepest penetrating ground operation in Marine Corps history. In summarizing the contribution of your fighting Seabees to the war effort, General Conway stated that, quote, "The determination and skill that your sailors displayed was nothing short of magnificent." The Seabees under your command maneuvered, built, and fought their way to Baghdad, advancing through one of the world's harshest environments and against some of the fiercest adversaries they had encountered since Vietnam. These experiences are laid out in great detail in the book you co-wrote titled Bridges to Baghdad, the U.S. Navy Seabees in the Iraq War. In recognition of your command's accomplishments in support of the Marine advance, the group was honored with a Presidential Unit Citation, the highest collective decoration for gallantry. Together with General Conway, you joined another SigEp citation recipient whose command earned a Presidential Unit Citation, General Anthony Nuts McAuliffe. The leader of the 101st Airborne Division in the Battle of Bastogne. Retiring from the Navy in 2005, you are now in your 2nd year as the president of Kubic Engineering Group, where you lead your employees in worldwide operations, providing expertise in strategic project planning, design and construction management, and executive consulting for contract startup, change management, and dispute resolution. A father of 3 children and husband to Anne, your family, your work, and your commitment to professional engineering organizations rapidly absorb your time. You are a member of the National Society of Professional Engineers, the Society of American Military Engineers, and the U.S. Naval Institute. Your military decorations include the Legion of Merit, Defense Meritorious and Meritorious Service Medals, Navy Commendation, and Achievement Medals, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, and the National Defense Vietnam Armed Forces and Humanitarian Service Medals. Brother Chuck Kubic, today, the Brothers of SigEp bestow upon you the Sigma Phi Epsilon Citation for outstanding career achievement, and we are indebted to your service to our country. Please come to the stage to receive your award.
Thank you, Brother Bennett. That was an amazing introduction. You know, if my old brothers from Pennsylvania Epsilon were here, they would surely ask, who's he talking about? That's not the Chuck Kubic we know. Special thanks to all of you, my brothers, not only for assembling here, but for letting me and my SigEp sweetheart hang out with you this weekend. And as you've just heard, I did attend the 1969 SigEp Conclave here in Dallas. You know, that was before the Balanced Man program. Nevertheless, we still had an excellent conclave and quite an inspiring after-party. I'm glad Dallas has finally invited us back. But in all seriousness, I was actually a beneficiary of an earlier informal version of the Balanced Man program. It was said long ago that this fraternity is different. And I noticed the difference immediately when I visited Pennsylvania Epsilon at Lehigh University in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, in the fall of 1969. And let me tell you, the difference was good. As a young freshman, I realized that pledging was a serious decision. But the right decision quickly became apparent to me. The SigEp house looked and felt different than others I had visited. And the brothers were all my immediate friends. I pledged with 18 others in January of 1969 and began to learn our history and about our values of virtue, diligence, and brotherly love. And in those days, we studied from a small red book called Educating for Brotherhood. Yes, back then we still had pledge duties. We all got to decorate our very own pledge paddle. I still have mine. Didn't bring it with me, though. And we all played pledge games with the brothers. And yes, we got kidnapped, and we were often challenged in other very innovative ways. But we learned the true meaning of SigEp brotherhood, and we came together quickly as a class of Lehigh SigEps. We were all initiated in May of 1969, less than 5 months after pledging. We were the only house at Lehigh to depart from a standard 12-month traditional pledge program. Yes, SigEp was different even 44 years ago. You know, college life was a bit different back then as well. For starters, Lehigh was an all-male school, predominantly engineers. We even had classes on Saturday morning. We only had 3,200 undergraduates, but we had 31 national social fraternities. Quite a strong Greek culture, especially on Saturday night. Hey, even engineers stopped one night a week from studying. It may not have been an established program at the time, but living with my SigEp brothers slowly but surely developed me into a balanced man. We had a very diverse group of brothers then, from ROTC cadets to war protesters, all living and learning together in the early 70s, during a culturally and politically turbulent time on college campuses. I sat with my brothers in our SigEp living room as the first draft lottery results were announced, one birthday at a time, from number 1 to number 366. All of our lives were altered that night. Some were in the 300s. I drew number 12 and enlisted in the Navy Reserve to avoid the draft. But we all continued on, down paths which were now clear to us. And of course, we all still partied on Saturday night. But we also continued to select and to educate new brothers, to be active on our campus and in our community, to set high goals for scholarship and athletic competition. And we helped each other deal with success and failures in the face of extremely rigorous academic standards at Lehigh in those days, as well as the cultural threats of alcohol, drugs, and blind dates. Hey, we were still an all-male school until my senior year. During my years with Pennsylvania Epsilon, I did my best to serve, but my actual contributions were really quite humble. That is, until the beginning of my junior year, when I met Ann. She became my pinmate, fiancée, and wife during a relatively short 20-month period. But more importantly, I recruited her as the driver of our pledge-powered bed go-kart. She went on to win back-to-back Greek Week bed race championships in 1971 and 1972. remaining undefeated until today. And then in 1972, she was also elected Pennsylvania Epsilon's sweetheart, SigEp sweetheart. She was one tough, good-looking lady, and she still is. Determination, hard work, success as a team, even during bed races, all characteristics of the legacy of excellence that is the SigEp difference. We often talk about legacies within our fraternity. I was very proud when my oldest son chose to attend Lehigh, and I secretly hoped that he would become a SigEp. But he made his own decision to join a rival house with a large number of his football teammates. They were different too. In fact, as Patriot League football champions, their house's average weight was higher than their average GPA. Think about that. But again, in all seriousness, legacies and mentors are very important. Over the course of my career, I have been most fortunate to meet SigEps worldwide, all of whom immediately became my brother and often my mentor. People like Brother Brian Estes, who as a future Navy Admiral mentored me when I was a young lieutenant and throughout my Navy. And Brother Bruce Hasenkamp, who is here today, who guided me towards selection as a White House Fellow. And of course, Brother Jim Conway, who was my commanding general when the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force and its Navy Seabee Division, which I commanded, marched to Baghdad just 10 years ago to take down a brutal dictator. I learned quickly in the Navy that the most important role of a leader was to guide those who come after you, both men and women, as they learn and achieve, and to take pride not so much in what you have done, but in the fact that those whom you have led will lead with strength and wisdom well into the future when your turn is over. So to me, this citation award is not about the things I may have done throughout a life that has gone by all too quickly since I was here in 1969. This award is about those whom I have hopefully helped and those with whom I have shared a common bond of brotherhood. For it is they, my growing family, my former troops and battle buddies, many of my business associates, and all of you who will now carry on, working in a diverse and decidedly co-ed culture, balanced SigEp men pursuing excellence across America and around the world. I say with deep pride that this fraternity is different. And it is that difference that so humbles me to accept this honor with grateful appreciation. Stay the course, stay together, stay excellent, my brothers, and may God bless all of you.